Hey guys, it's me, Terry's Hype here on the main channel, and welcome back to some Forza Motorsport 7, and we're actually on the second channel, as today we have a brand new car back out. I don't remember the name of it. If I do, I will put it up on screen, hopefully. Yeah, the new car pack came out for Forza Motorsport 7, and we got this absolute crazy beast. I love it so much. It is the 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrofolioliolio. Yep, that one. You know, the one that no one can pronounce. Let me just sort something else before we carry on. There we go. This is the brand new car from Alfa, and it's a 4-door sedan car. Now, I don't keep up an Alfa all often, but when I saw this car first getting built and stuff, and when I first ever saw this car, I fell in love with it. And not because it's just an Alfa, but because the car is genuinely incredible. If you have a look at it now, yeah, the wheels are a bit small, and that's about all you can say. The wheels, if they were a bit bigger and the wheel arches weren't as small, like, you got so much room where the wheel could fit if you got bigger wheels yourself with the same rims. If you could get Alfa Romeo base rims but a bit bigger, the car would look perfect. This car looks incredible. The rear wing on the back of it, with it being black, no matter what colour you get in it, it just stands out. I've got it in red here, and it looks incredible. You can get it in white, and it looks even better. And this car looks incredible. It sounds amazing. It drives incredibly. But anyway, let's get into the hard stats of this Alfa. So, if you want to buy it, the only way you can buy it in Forza Motorsport 7 is if you have the car pack, and that costs around about £6. Don't know how much that is in dollars. It's about $10 or something. Actually, with the Brexit and stuff, it's probably about $7, but I don't know how that conversions and stuff. But we'll go around the $7 to $10 mark, and when you buy that, you get one free purchase of this Alfa. But if you wanted to buy it again, you have to pay 120,000 credits. And is that expensive for this car? Not one bit. For your 120,000 credits, you get 506 horsepower, 442 foot-pounds of torque to power 3,832 pounds through the straights, and it is, honestly, the engine is incredible. The brakes could do a bit more work. We're going to start in a bit. But this car is genuinely so good. I love this car. I don't know what it is. Some people might think, oh, it doesn't look that good, but I love that front end. I love that rear end. I love the way this thing looks. Although, looking at it from this side angle, if you look at the front wheel arches, it kind of looks like a BMW. I did notice that when I was looking around it, when I first got into it. It does kind of have a hint of BMW. But that's funny, because when we get into the engine in a bit, you'll see that it is far from BMW. Anyway, how does the grip do? Well, you get 245s on the front, 285s on the rear, and street tyres as standard, meaning this thing is pretty grippy. It's a lot grippy than... It's a lot more grippy than the average car would be. Although, yeah, it's got street tyres as standard, which is great. 285s on the rear is a bit small. Personally, I would want like 305s. But this thing, it doesn't oversee. You can see it here. I'm not out of control while driving this thing around the Mugello circuit. And I know this circuit pretty well. I do the silly car build series on here. I know the circuit pretty well. And I know that this car won't want to get sliding. It doesn't want to get sliding, but if you want it to get sliding, it will go sliding. And that's the thing. If you put a bit too much power down in the corner, it will slide. It will overstay, it will outstep its mark, but you are always in control. As I said, the car, well, as you can guess, the car is rear-wheel drive. It is front engine like any good car is. And like I said before, the engine is strictly not BMW, it's more Ferrari. It's a 2.8 litre twin-turbo V6, which is borrowed from the Ferrari California, just dropped 2 cylinders. And that's incredible. This thing, they've got a Ferrari twin-turbo V6, well, V8, cut 2 cylinders off it, and it creates this masterpiece. It is a genuinely incredible car. As you see me go a bit off there, and we'll get into why in a second. 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, 0 to 100 in 8.7 seconds. Some acceleration stats are amazing, especially for a sedan that weighs nearly 4,000 pounds with 500 horsepower to power it. This car can accelerate pretty damn quickly, but obviously every car has its downfall. No car is perfect. If a car's very fast in a straight line, it usually has very bad brakes. If a car's very good through the corners, it's usually not very fast in a straight line. Now this thing is very fast in the straights, and it's pretty good around the corners, so the only area it could downfall is its brakes. And I'll tell you now, the brakes aren't very good. 60 to 0 in 140 feet, 100 to 0 in 347 feet. And that is only 100. You're coming up to a lot of these corners doing 120, some of them you're coming up doing 150. The brakes cannot save you in this car. They are just, I don't know what Alfa were thinking. Were they going to use dinner plates? Or you can see them, they're instantly glowing just going anywhere near the brakes. And you can see there's a massive slide, but you know, it looked cool. But yeah, the brakes aren't very good. But with the 506 horsepower twin turbo V6, we get a top speed of 197 miles per hour. Now, I'm not sure what you would want to do going nearly 200 miles an hour in Alfa Romeo, because its wheels will probably fall off. But that's pretty fast. And this car is in Forza, it's around the mid B class area. And I don't think this is out of place at all. This is dealing with the likes of the BMWs, with the Audis and all of that. And personally, I've not tested it, but I think this car could definitely beat them. Now I say that the brakes aren't good, and the brakes in the other cars are incredible, but there's just something about this car. It's not out of Alfa's kind of reaching point. It is very much Alfa with a bit of Ferrari, and that's great. The designing is incredible, the control, the power, the speed, the everything. It's incredible, and it is relatively cheap as well. At only 120,000 credits, you are getting, say that Porsche Cayman GT4 that I reviewed last, whenever the last episode was of this series, because we had a bit of a break. Yeah, that cost 140,000 credits, and that is stupidly overpriced for that car in my opinion. And that's at a lap time of, on our track, of about 227.794, so we're getting 20 grand less. Obviously I'm not going to tell you where it comes just yet. Although, on the leaderboard up to now, where would I compare this thing to? Well, the thing we've driven that is most like this would probably be the Audi RS7. But then again, that was stupidly expensive and in A class. This is in mid B class, and you know, it's an Alfa. So I would much more compare this thing to the likes of maybe even the Chrysler 300 SRT8. Although you do not put them two cars together, they don't go together. You don't get American muscle car and put it against an Italian finesse machine. It doesn't compare. So this is kind of going to be, oh sorry about that, going to be a new place on the leaderboard. I was going to take a BMW around, but then I realised I don't want to overload this episode with too many cars and too much information. We like doing it one at a time because, you know, we get the best out of the car. Anyway, we are coming to the end of the preview clips, and as you can see, this car is just so composed. I did get a tiny bit of a wiggle on, but this car is beautiful. And yeah, so the next thing my task was to take it to the drag strip, where we would take it for 1/4 of a mile to see where it would compare. Now, with this thing's rear wheel drive, it's got 506 horsepower even, and it's not got the biggest tyres in the back, so it's not going to be the fastest thing we've ever taken. But the Alfa Romeo got a drag time of 12 seconds .012, putting it in 9th position, which is 100th slower than the Lancia Stratos, but a whole 0.2 seconds faster than the Formula E. And obviously we weren't comparing that to the Audi, because, you know, the Audi's all-wheel drive. Anyway, we are here at Maple Valley, seeing how well this thing is to drift. And, well, it's actually quite scary, because it's got 506 horsepower, so you put on the throttle, it's gonna spin its wheels up when they're hot, and when, you know, you're doing drifts. This thing is actually quite scary. I do say it's tame, but that's when you tame the car. Like you see here, bit of a crash. Yeah, because this thing doesn't have the most grip, it's only got 285s in the back. I much prefer grip drifting, which is having a lot more grip and having a lot less horsepower. Like my favourite drift car in Horizon 3 was my Hyundai, whichever one it was in, the Genesis. That had race tyres on it, and only had 300 horsepower. I could drift that like a machine because it's the preferred way of driving, whereas this is basically the opposite. I'm not a good drifter as it is, so obviously it's not going to be the best thing ever. But saying that, you could hold some pretty good looking drifts. And now obviously these drifts aren't going to be the best looking things because we got to go for points because we're doing best lap, but they did look pretty good, and that happened a lot. Yes, I did just crash the very, very beautiful Alfa Romeo into the tyre barrier, but that wasn't my fault really. Yeah, it had tendencies to want to rip itself back going round, but if you see, look at how good this thing looks. It looks really, really nice, and it's incredible. I just want to watch this thing because it looks so beautiful. And that brings me on to an interesting prospect. Why does Alfas always look so good? And that's because they're built by Italians, obviously. But that's not the prospect. If I were to have the keys to... In fact, no, we'll get into that later, because we're coming to the end of the Maple. I do go a bit wide, but the best lap we managed to rack in with Alfa Romeo Giulia was a 24,488 points, which puts it into 3rd place on the leaderboard. Just 1,000 points down on the Audi RS7. Also, I was drifting it, then got a bit sideways, obviously, missed my turn-in, hit the road, and flipped. So yeah, 1,000 points behind on the Audi RS7, and 400 in front of the Audi R8 V10 Plus. Now that is a good place to be, just saying. So we are here at Suzuka, which is our dedicated test track for all the stock power cars in this game. Well, not really power cars, we will be taking something very, very interesting coming out at the end of this week, so be sure you come check out anyway. But yeah, we are here at Suzuka to see just how fast the Alfa Romeo Quadrofolioliolio can go round the track. And my god, is this thing very, very good around the track. I'm just getting something ready. There we go. So we are coming up to the S-bends. Obviously we've just done the S-curves. I am trying to learn all these corner names so it's much more better for us. And coming around Dunlop curve, this thing is planted. You can power it around here, and as soon as you get the power down, it is very, very traction orientated, and it doesn't want to spin up his wheels. Now, this was a problem area for the Alfa. On the Degner curve, the brakes aren't very, very good, and we know this already from what we've seen. They weren't very, very good at getting it stopped, so the amount of times I did 5 training laps with this car, and I kept outbraking myself because I wanted to push the car faster and faster and faster. Anyway, we're here at the uphill hairpin, and this thing wasn't the best. You see, I didn't go into that much wheel spin, yes, but it didn't get very fast out of the corners either. And so obviously I didn't get the most acceleration on the car as possible. We are here coming up to Spoon, and this was a problem area as well for the Alfa because of the way the corner is cambered and elevated and turning. It liked getting the Alfa out sliding very, very much. Now obviously you could tame that, you learn the track, you learn where the car can push its limits, you can learn to tame that, but you know, it wasn't the best. Now we are on the back straight, which this car can get to a whopping 150 miles an hour, which is only 40, 50 nearly miles an hour down on its top speed, and obviously coming up to that massive braking zone we had to brake a lot earlier. Coming into the slower speed corners now, the Casio Triangle, this Alfa did pretty well coming around here actually, and coming around the final, the 18th corner of the track. It can get its power down and get accelerated really, really quickly, and that is always a bonus. Now, the Alfa Romeo, like I said, we will be putting up against either the RS7 or the Chrysler SRT8. Now, the lap time that the Alfa Romeo pulled in is a 2:35.996, which puts it into 9th position on our board, which is a good 4 seconds down on the Audi RS7, but a good 2 seconds in front of the Lancia Stratos. So like I said, it's a mid B-class car. It's a car that we've not really got much stats about on the track yet, so we don't really know what it would compare to. And like I said, I didn't think it would be faster than the RS7, but I thought it would be faster than the SRT8, the Chrysler, and it was. Anyway, like I was saying before, if I was to have a pick between, if I was just given the keys between this Alfa Romeo, the BMW M5, or the Audi RS7, for instance, because we already took that round. Now, the Audi RS7 is stupidly expensive, the BMW is a bit boring, and then you get the Alfa. And I'm being completely honest here, I will take the Alfa every single day of the week, because this car is just so good to drive. It is a lot. Having this thing parked outside your house, obviously the brakes need a bit of work, so I'll probably put a bit of braking work into the car when I get it. But having this thing parked up outside your house would be a statement and a half. You would be getting looks everywhere you drive. So yeah, this is probably dream car status for me because it is that good. Anyway, if you like this video, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe subscribe for more of the car review series. And yeah, comment down below what car you want to see us review next, and if you don't, well, we've already got it planned out anyway. So yeah, that's it from me, Terminus Hyper, signing out.